Hello, hello, and happy Friday, everybody. This is just a little live to do with what's happening at the moment. So, tomorrow we've got the 1st of July, and it's a really there's a lovely energy both in numerology and actually in astrology about tomorrow and the rest of July. And I also am going to talk a little bit about the full moon, which is on Monday the 3rd, and it's almost everywhere. It's going to be on the 3rd, except for maybe right out beyond us, because it's at 12:38 p.m., so just after noon. In this part of the world, which is Ireland, I'm coming from. So Irish UK time, Universal time, it's going to be 12:38 p.m. So it's going to be something like 4:38, I think, in Pacific time. What is that? 12, I think. 30, not 12, 8. 7:38 Eastern. You make it out wherever you are in the world, but it's going to be on Monday. And as always, full moons bring up attention, a little bit of because an actual direct opposition, the sun is opposite the moon, that brings up attention, but there's so many lovely other things happening at the same time. So it is a beautiful new moon. It's going to, I'm feeling it already. And this new moon is, and all new moons are about new beginnings and sort of endings of the old ways. Ending of something old to bring in something new. Hi, Rianne, lovely to see you, sweetheart. So there's a lot happening on tomorrow, the 1st of July. So July is a 7 universal month. So the first day of the 7th, and 2023 is a 7 universal year. So if you add up those numbers, it comes to 15. And 15 is the spiritual alchemist, and it reduces to number 6. The number 6 is the number, there's a positive and a negative side to every number, but the positive side of number 6 is nurturing. It's unconditional love. It's sort of mothering love. And that reduces to 6. And we've also got, on that day, we've got the sun is exactly conjunct Mercury at 9 degrees, and they are forming an exact sextile to Jupiter, also at 9 degrees. So we've got 3 planets at 9 degrees. And 9 in numerology also signifies the unconditional love, but it's more of the unconditional higher love, higher frequency love, God love, universal love. And it also signifies endings. So 9 is the last number, the last single digit in numerology, because you always add the numbers up until you get to a single digit. So 9 is that number of endings and beginnings. So that's for tomorrow, the 1st of July. And then just 2 days later, on Monday, the 3rd, we've got that super new moon. So it's a super new moon. It's closer to the earth. It might seem brighter in the sky. And new moons always shine the light on something. So a super new moon is going to be even more intense. With kind of magnetics and shifts in the world, it's going to have a bigger effect as well. So the new moon, then, we've got the sun and the moon opposite each other at just over 11 degrees. So that we've got that 11 code, and 11 is the number of sort of walking through the gap. So there's this double 11 number. So that there's a big sense of starting and moving into something new. Now, always with a new moon, we're shining the light on something. That big new moon, we're shining the light on something. And there's so much happening. I won't even go into everything that's happening, because I've just picked out the main things, having looked at several astrologers. So I follow Tanya Gabrielle. She has a beautiful podcast out this month, Tanya Gabrielle. And then there is Pam Gregory, who I love as well. There's several others. So follow who you like. But we've got, since also the 11th of June, we've got Pluto that moved back into Capricorn. It had moved into Aquarius, and it's because it's such a slow moving planet, it's sort of skirting in between Aquarius and Capricorn. So it moved into Aquarius in March, can't remember the date, moved out back into Capricorn on the 11th of June, where it's going to stay until January, and it will move back in. It'll move back into Aquarius in January, and it's going to move back once into Capricorn before it goes back into Aquarius next year, and it will stay there for 20 years. So, that Pluto shines the light on things, and it also has a sense of that kind of birth, death, end of the old and starting something new. And because it's at the very last degrees, and I've said this lots of time, of Capricorn, it's really shining the light on Capricorn. So the sun is in Cancer at this full moon, and the moon is in Capricorn. So we've got so much happening there. Saturn is also going retrograde in Pisces. So that's sort of going back over, and it can be going back over deceits, going back over things that have been shadowed. So Saturn is really going to give us a sort of a reality check. It's going to break down any illusions or any dreams, and that with that Pluto energy, I'm really excited at this one. Capricorn represents governments. It represents top-down structures. So those are, and I've been talking about that for a while, the breakdown of these top-down structures. But it also represents building and manifesting. So there's a sort of a sense of building and starting something new. What is it that you want to let go of? Between now and Monday, really get clear on what you want to clear, what you want to release, what you want to let go of before we start building on something new. Because there's going to be a sense of building something for the long term, and something with integrity, something new, something that that we can be responsible for. So there's a really interesting trines. 3 trines actually. So with the sun and the moon, they're opposite, and then the sun and Mercury are conjunct, and they're forming a sextile, which is 60-degree angles. So they're forming a sextile to Jupiter, which expands everything. So what is happening in this full moon, which is also a full supermoon, is going to be really expanded with that Jupiter energy. And Jupiter in turn is sextiling Saturn, which is going to help us sort of bring, our self-responsibility into whatever it is that we're creating. And that then, Saturn is forming that sextile to Capricorn, where the moon is, plus Saturn actually is the ruler of Capricorn. So we've got on one side, we've got that direct opposition, and then we've got 60 degrees, 2 other planets forming these sextiles or trines as well, because a trine is a 90-degree angle. So they're trining. So what is sextiling the sun is trining the moon. You'd have to see this on a sheet, but it is a really, those trines are going to bring a really beautiful harmony energy to the moon and the sun. It's kind of like it sort of makes us act on something. So the sun and the moon opposite, those opposites always, it was basically like a kick in the ass really to make you do something. So what is it that you or me or all of us, what is it? Ask yourself, what are you resisting? Because right now, if we continue to resist something or are afraid to let go of something, this sort of a full moon, especially a super moon, is going to really be that kick. So if you're open to allowing something to go, you're going to have a lot of supportive energy with this. And in order, when you leave something go, it means that you can bring something better in. And this is all about, that being responsible for our creativity. We are the co-creators in this life. We get to choose. We get to manifest. And there's a sort of an energy with this moon about, do you want to stay as a victim mode in any area that you feel you're not good at, or that if you feel there's anything that is blocking you, or any obstacles, any patterns, any old paradigms that are holding you back. If you're focusing on those, and that's sort of staying in a victim mode, well, then this is really going to be a strong moon. But if you are willing to release something in order to open up something else and create something for the long term, now create something big, this is a really positive and powerful full moon. Hi, Susanna. Lovely to see you too. And I can see there are a few of you watching here. So I have chosen already before I hopped on, because I don't like to keep these lives to be too long. I know everybody is busy. So I have dealt with, and I'm choosing from Ascended Masters and my Goddess card pack. So I've got 3 Goddess cards jumped out and 1 Ascended Masters. So I'm going to read those in a moment. I'm just going to check to see if there's anything else. Oh yes, Pluto is also squaring the nodal axis. So the nodes, the north node and the south node. The north node is where we're heading, and the south node is where we're coming from. And Pluto is directly squaring those. So there is that sense as well. Do we want to go forward, or do we want to stay in the past? And obviously we want to always be moving forward, because the past is just being either nostalgic or stuck in something. But now is the time to really, I suppose, focus on letting go, just trusting and following your intuition. Now, for the new moon on Monday, and I'm not going to be around on Monday, I've got a full day booked on Monday. So what I am suggesting is that you just watch yourself, and especially over the weekend, we're moving into July, and we've got that kind of, there's a lot of full energy coming with July, and a lot of action taking, ending of the old, beginning of something new. So if there's anything that you're feeling stuck on or triggered on, remember to breathe. First of all, just close your eyes, notice what you're feeling and where you're feeling it in your body. And just take a really, really deep breath in. And when you feel you're full, take more. Breathe in until you can't breathe in anymore, and hold it. And then you'll be able to just easily release out everything. And as you're releasing out, just imagine that the thoughts and the emotions, our thoughts form our emotions. So whatever you're feeling will come down to a full head of thoughts. Imagine those thoughts are flowing down into your heart, okay? And just let them flow down. And then do that again. Do that 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Just continue to breathe in as much as you can, hold it, and then gently just let that air flow out. And when you do that, when you allow your thoughts in your head to flow down into your heart can alchemize anything. Your heart is so strong, and once you get the thoughts out of your head, it feels much easier to be able to balance things. Now, if you want to do a full moon meditation, just go back wherever you're watching this here. If you just do a search on full moons, they're very much the same. Usually I will put in something, whatever is happening, but what we need to do is to just let go of any judgment, let go of any, there's going to be a lot of truths coming to light at the moment. That's the whole energy of right now. So whatever, any falsehoods, any lower paradigms, we're going to be seeing a lot of truths. And what we need to do is not fight them, Accept what has, and get back into your power. How do you recreate? How do you bring yourself back to creation mode? And you do that by letting go, being absolutely willing to let go, and then looking at what it is you want. Now, I will be doing something really exciting at the end of the month, but I'm sort of on a go slow over the summer. At the end of the month, I am going to do another um, full week of manifesting, and I'm looking at maybe the 31st of July and the first couple of days of August, just before that August weekend. So do listen out. If you're not on my email list, there's a link below here. Stay in touch, and I'll be letting everybody in my community know when I'm going to do that free manifesting challenge. So it'll be 5 days of how we can manifest anything. And it's really important now to take back your power and to really be, your own truth. So the cards that I've chosen today. Hi, Carol. Hi, Jennifer Kellman. Lovely to see you here. I must reach out to you, actually. So this card is Kali, okay, the first card that jumped out, and it's all about endings and beginnings, which is very much in tune with this full moon. So this is just reminding you that whatever it is that you want or that you feel is out of reach for you, is just out of reach for you because there's something that you need to let go of. Something has to go first. And the full moon is always the time that allows you to let go. But it also is about culminations. So the old must go in order to focus and move to where you are and where you want to go. Now, if you set intentions at the new moon, which we always do, when you set your intentions and decide what you want and focus on your dream, what you will be feeling right now is that you're moving with a lot more power. And the next 3 days, as the moon grows into fullness, and for 3.5 days after, we've got so much growth, we've got so much potential to make magic happen. So this card is just a reminder, it's in the palm of your hand. Whatever it is that you want, it's in the palm of your hand, but you need to let go of something. So imagine you're opening your hand, you're letting go of something that you don't want, some behavior, some pattern, so that you can focus more deeply on allowing something in. And that might be that what you need to let go of might be a lower thought, a lower vibration, a feeling of I can't, or it's never, I'm not going to be able to do that, or whatever it is. You may already know what you need to let go of. So that's the first card. The second card is just about your inner wisdom. And we have actually, if you look at that, there is a full moon right at the corner here. And this is just reminding you, you have the wisdom. You know what to do. We all have that ability to be wise, to trust our own intuition. We are all intuitive. Believe it or not, we are all intuitive. We all get those gut feelings. Mostly we override it. And when I look back and realize, before I realized I was intuitive, I was an anxious child, an anxious teenager, an anxious young adult. But anytime those anxieties were intense, it was because I was going against my intuition. So breathing into your anxieties, get the message of what it is, and trust that your initial reaction is giving you a message. And all you need to do is be curious about the message. Just be curious and wonder why, something might be coming up again and again, or wonder why you're getting a particular feeling. But just trust. If you have an instinct to go towards something, do that. If you have an instinct to stay back from something, do that. But this card is really just telling you, trust your gut. You know what to do. Take that action. Okay, take that action. The next card is actually a leap of faith. So when you trust your intuition, you it's almost like that. Like if you look at the girl in this, she's just, her hands are out and she's just trusting in the universe. She's been led to something and she's sort of like leaping upwards. She's not standing at the edge of a cliff and looking down and afraid that she's going to fall. She's, her hands are open and she's moving upwards. And when you get a big, bright idea about something and you know that this is what you want to do and you want to move towards it, know that if you trust that feeling, you will be guided the next step and the next step, because the universe, God, your highest self, divine intelligence, call it that energy what you want. It's the same energy. It's love. When you trust that and when you get that big, bright idea, that is the message that you've got to take the action on it. It's the message that if you do this, I will hold you, I will protect you. That's what the universe is saying. So, it's just take a risk now and put your heart's true the desires. The message on that card is put your heart's true desires into it. So when you feel that you really want something, don't look at it, the obstacles in your way. Trust that those obstacles will disappear and be guided by what's at the other side of the obstacle. Be guided by what it is you want to go towards. And the last card is actually, the three of these cards really are very, very similar. This card is telling you you can do it. You can do it. Whatever you think you can't do, whatever you think that's blocking you, you actually can do this. And especially if you've got that big, bright idea and if you trust, you can do this. There's an Archangel Michael, which is probably the only angel that I really am very familiar with and I've, had experience of. That energy is very strong and protective, and I've got, it's sort of like, if you could imagine somebody has this, or a higher force has your back, is holding you, is leading you, is protecting you. That's the message of this card. You can do it, and your back is protected. Hi TJ, lovely to see you as well. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, do reach out. I will be back. I don't know when, because I will be around next week. I'm in and out. I have a lot on, but I am going to be doing another manifesting challenge, a week long. And at the moment, that week is falling in place at the very last day of the month. So I think it's Monday, the 31st to the 4th of August, because I have a space there before, I'll be working on, my son is going on holidays from his college, my son who has special needs, so I'm going to be, full on during the first 2 weeks of August. So I will do that the last week and we're going to just have such fun. So if you're not on my mailing list, click the link under this description somewhere for Stay in Touch and you will find that. Have a beautiful new moon. And I will talk to you all soon. Lots of love.